Good morning and happy Wednesday. This is Loretta Sernowski from Remax Fine Properties, and welcome to another edition of Cactus and Canucks, which is on our YouTube channel, Living in Arizona. And today we are going to talk about my favorite subject, besides real estate and dogs, food.
That's right.
We have Jamin and Christy Dunn, and their business is Plan B Pizza. So before I go, let us and tell us about yourselves and how you got into this business.
Sure.
Well, we're called Plan B for two reasons. In 2023, I lost a job very suddenly and very unexpectedly. It was a really, really difficult moment for me, for our family, for our marriage. And after kind of recovering from that, we moved into doing this pizza business, which was not our plan A, obviously. But we incorporate honey into a couple of our pizza toppings. And so we just kind of let it work both ways. And I'm giving you a really, really fast version of the story, but that's kind of how we got started into this.
Incorporate into your pizzas?
Honey. Yeah. You do. You put a spicy honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting. So I guess you could say that you shifted and pivoted and moved into a totally different direction in your life.
That's right.
We did. Completely different.
That's something Plan B.
Yeah. Something we had kind of dreamed about, but didn't think ever would be a reality until we had the opportunity. And we thought, why not? Why not now? So we started a couple years ago, almost 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And what background do you guys have? Did you come from? Like what?
So I've been a pastor in churches for about the last 20 years, and I was a professional musician for a while as well. And my wife still has her day job. She is a neuroanalyst for a ambulatory EEG company.
Something totally different. Yeah. I have a desk job, so catering is a little bit different of a speed. But yeah, we love to cook. So it kind of was a natural, we love to cook, we love to host. How can we make that into a business?
Right.
So it's taken some development, but we really love it. It's a lot of fun.
And so when you were coming up with your brainchild for the business, was mobile pizza always the plan, or did you think of something else, or did you do something else and it didn't work?
No. So we moved to the Valley about 5 years ago from the Cleveland, Ohio area. And while we were there, there was a coffee shop just down the street from our home that we would walk to routinely. And the coffee was great, and the pastries just were not good. And I had a conversation with the owner. His name's Greg, and I said, Greg, you should really have my wife make all your pastries. They would blow this away. And so he invited her to come in and kind of show him some of her stuff. And he hired her there on the spot to make all of the pastries. And so our original dream was really Christy's dream, which was to own a bakery. And while we were kind of discussing that and kind of what that might look like, I had said, I don't think that we can sell enough scones and croissants to pay the mortgage. So it should be a bakery in the morning, and then it should be a pizzeria for lunch and dinner. And so we were looking at property, like we were actually starting to really try and make something happen. And then COVID happened in 2020, and everything just kind of shut down, and the dream sort of died there. And then we moved out to Arizona, where we didn't think we would ever do anything like that ever again until that fateful day in September of 2023. And so we thought, well, maybe now's the time. And we thought about opening a pizzeria. And I did just about 10 minutes of research to realize that was going to cost us $500,000 to $1 million to get off the ground. And we had no experience. We had no proof of concept. And so Christy said,
I said, what if we did it mobile? Like, Phoenix is an awesome food city, awesome mobile food city. So
Snow.
what that?
Hey,
Yeah.
no rain, no snow.
No, I know it's like ideal. So I didn't even really know what that meant or what that would look like, but I got on Facebook Marketplace because I thought, I don't know, maybe there's something out there that'll clarify. And we found our oven. It was for sale by a lady near downtown who had done catering for a long time, she and her husband, and COVID had killed their business and they just didn't want to pick it back up again. So she was selling her equipment. We reached out to her. We were not the only ones that had reached out to her, but after she met us and heard our story, she kind of said, I don't want to sell it to anybody but you guys. So she helped us think through some of those beginning things of how does this even work? What do we need to focus on? And
So she was kind of like a mentor.
A little bit at first, yeah. But honestly, we bought the pizza oven with the help of Christy's folks helped us buy it. And we really didn't have any idea how we were going to make money with it. I said to my wife, listen, we both know how to work hard. Neither of us are dummies. So I think we can make some money at this. And so then it was just kind of for the first 6 months was a lot of trial and error as to how we can take our cooking ability, our hosting ability, and the equipment that we purchased, and how do we turn that into a viable business?
Mm-hmm.
I will say too, before we bought the big oven, like the oven we have now, we bought an uni, like a little backyard pizza oven, because we thought maybe we shouldn't invest a lot of money into this unless we know we can make a really good pizza. So we practiced that, which was kind of funny. And now we look back on that time and think, oh man, you can cook 3 pizzas well on that thing before it's not hot enough. And now our pizza's 800 degrees all the time.
So how were you toying with other things before pizza, or why pizza?
Everybody's happy when pizza's being served. It's a party food. It's a celebration food. It's a food that people like to gather around, and we love it. It kind of just for our family. We've got 5 daughters, and wherever we've lived, we've had a regular pizza place that we've gone to. And in fact, when we were in the Cleveland area, it was this pizza place called Lorenzo's in a little town called Oberlin. And there at Lorenzo's, they served a pepperoni and hot honey pizza, which was our first introduction to that. And so when we decided to move forward with our business idea, I said, we've got to have that pepperoni and hot honey. We'll call it the Stinger. And it was just sort of a very spontaneous inspiration moment. And we wrote our menu and had our entire brand thought of in about 35 minutes. And it just really happened naturally. So we didn't ever we've been married almost 24 years and we didn't really talk about owning a pizza company until the last 5 years or so, and it wasn't even really a serious consideration until 2.5. We just knew we loved to entertain and host people and cook for them. We've been doing that for a long time, and so it just seemed like a really natural transition to try and do this thing we love and we know we do well and do it as our vocation. And so our faith has played a huge role in this. God has really blessed us and protected us in a really difficult time, and made provision for us from every which way. I'm sure we'll get into more of our story and how this thing has gone from 2 people in a pizza oven that really didn't have any idea what they were doing to the way that we're operating now, which is at a pretty significant level as far as growth and revenue and all of that. And I give the glory to him for that. He has provided everything. He has blessed us beyond what we could have ever even hoped for. And it continues to happen that way.
That's great. So I'm just curious because as a realtor, I use AI a lot now in my business. And I'm just wondering if you use that when you were creating your business at all.
I guess, yeah.
So
I'm 2 years behind on that. I do make use of ChatGPT. It's very good for making documents. I use it there are certain things that are required by Maricopa County just for our permits and those kinds of things that ChatGPT helps me do way faster than I would do on my own. It's helpful for the way that we organize and keep track of our taxes and those kinds of things. But in 2023, we were not using AI for really anything. God has really surrounded us with people that we were able to lean on. And in that particular time, I've got a good friend who used to live here in Arizona. His name's Mark Whiten. He's got a design company called Whiten Design. And he was kind of just talking with me while we were going through what we were going through. And he came up with the idea for our branding just in a 10-minute conversation. And he shot it over to us in an email. We're like, that's it.
Right.
We had Paula, who we bought the oven from, who it wasn't just a transaction. Like, she really did take some time with us and spent some time with even helping me walk through the process of how do you even get a health permit, and which, Maricopa County has 3 different ones. Which one do we need and why? So that was very helpful. We had friends that were very supportive, and were able to kind of endure our pizza at the very beginning. We brought our oven home in October, the end of October, and then for Thanksgiving we did a Friendsgiving event in Peoria, and we invited basically everybody that we knew, and we didn't know our way around how to make pizza dough work.
It was a disaster. I cried because our dough was frozen still, so I had no concept of, hey, you probably need it unfrozen and proofed
yeah,
to cook well. So it was.
No one complained. Everybody thought it was good, and we're like, we would be embarrassed to serve that.
But a lot of that was just, you have to do it to learn it, and you don't know what you don't know until you learn it. So, months of kind of enduring that, and then we were given some opportunities to sort of prove ourselves once we got it figured out. And that has just continued to lead one thing to the next in a really exciting way. So that's
the school of hard knocks is a time and tested theory, right? That's
undefeated.
It's a real thing for sure.
So you have the food truck and the catering. How are those connected? Your food truck, is it available somewhere? Are you guys on the move all the time? How do you handle your catering?
So you go ahead.
Yeah, we operate sort of on 2 tracks, basically. Right now we have the one oven, but kind of future growth and where we're heading. By the end of next week, we will own 3 ovens, which is very exciting. So we'll be able to sort of divide and conquer those tasks a little bit. A lot of our business right now has been catering, has been wedding catering, and then bigger food truck events where we set up for a period of time. So do you want to talk about?
So we're the exclusive pizza provider for the Goodyear Ballpark for spring training, where the Cleveland Guardians and Cincinnati Reds do their spring training. And then this year, we're also the pizza provider at the Hohokam baseball park in Mesa for the athletics. And so we'll be in both of those parks for the entirety of spring training. We are going to be working with Westworld now, if you're familiar with that. So we'll be at the GTA portion of the Arabian Horse Festival that's coming up just next week for 3 days, so the 13th through the 15th. We are a 3rd Street vendor for the Phoenix Convention Center. So when they have events where they shut down 3rd Street and put food trucks out there, we're one of those food trucks. The big event we do with them each year is called Fan Fusion, which is Phoenix's version of the San Diego Comic-Con. Last year, there was about 85,000 people over 3 days, and we sold 1,500 pizzas. So we do a lot of and this is just the way it's kind of happened. But so the story, the way that things really took off for us was 2 things. We were not doing a lot of wedding business yet, and we wanted to do that. We really enjoyed the catering part of it, partly just because it's predictable. It's going to be 100 people, and so you can be prepared for all of that. You don't have to. And so a friend of mine, his name's Jason, said, hey, you got to market with Wedding Wire and The Knot. And so I looked into that, did a consultation with one of their salespeople, and it was for a business that wasn't bringing in hardly any money, it was expensive. It was going to be about $400 a month for us to market with them.
Right.
And I thought to myself, well, we can give it a shot. It was a 1-year contract. I guess if we booked 2 weddings, it would pay for itself. And so we started to market with The Knot. And that almost overnight started a influx of leads for us. You understand how important leads are with your business, and it's invaluable for catering. And so, but the other thing that happened that I didn't anticipate was that not just brides shop on The Knot and Wedding Wire. There are people that are hosting all kinds of events that will look for caterers and DJs, those kinds of things on that site. And so about 2 weeks after we were live there, I got a phone call to see if we wanted to be a exhibitor, a food truck for the Great Arizona Food Expo at the convention center. This would have been in April of 24.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. And so she kind of explained, and it was like $800 just to be there, to have a spot, which was a really steep number for us at that time. And
I didn't want to do it, to be fair. I was like, we're definitely not doing this.
And that's kind of the way that we operate, is that I'm like, yes, let's go. We'll do it. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later. And I'm like, oh no, how are we going to figure it out?
So we did it. And it went well. Like, we made money. We paid back our entrance fee. Plus, I don't know, we probably tripled it that day or that weekend. And so I was excited. I was like, oh, that went really well. We got to do that again. That was a Saturday and Sunday. On that Tuesday following, I got a phone call from a gentleman named John Erickson, who's the food and beverage manager at the Phoenix Convention Center. And he said, hey, listen, my partner and I walked past your concept this weekend. Your food's great. Your concept's great. We wanted to know if you would be interested in coming to Fan Fusion. And I said, what is that? And because we'd never heard of it. And so he explained it quickly. And there were some things that we had to get in a row, like our insurance policy needed to grow quite a bit. And it was a percentage split that we were a little bit afraid of. We didn't know what to expect, but I was like, okay. I came home and Christy didn't want to do it.
I didn't want to do it.
And I said, I think we should do it. I think we should do it. We need to make money. We have to pay back our in-laws and all of that. And so we agreed to do it, not knowing at all what it was that we had agreed to. And so our first time through Fan Fusion, it was literally 3 15, 16-hour days. We brought enough food for what we thought was enough for 2 days. And by 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, we were already halfway through Saturday's food. And so we were panicked. I had my food rep from Cisco on the phone saying, Daniel, help. We need like 3 times as much as we thought we were going to need. And we didn't collapse, even though we wanted to, and we didn't really have a break. We did the entire weekend with like 6 people.
We didn't staff it correctly at all. Just the things you don't know until you do it.
We made it. We did well. I think we did like $23,000 in sales that weekend.
Wow.
And that really, it was kind of a crucible and a proving ground for what we were capable of.
To them and to ourselves, really. I think after that, we were like, I think we can do harder things than we thought we were able to do. So then we started pursuing other things. Spring training was a huge one last year. That was our first time doing it in the Goodyear ballpark. And that's 30 straight days. So when you're doing this as sort of a side job, maybe once or twice a week, and then you're doing something for 30 days in a row, that's a lot different. Planning wise,
how do you have extra people there since you're probably at your job during the day, right?
Yeah, right.
We have 18 or 20 people now that work for us on a contractor basis. And so our schedule for spring training is completely staffed in 2 locations. So on any given day, and when we're at both parks, we've got 9 to 10 people working, 5 at both or 4 at both, depending on crowd size that day and what we're anticipating.
Thankfully, those aren't like 16-hour days.
No.
Like some of the events we do. I mean, it's a very abbreviated 4 or 5 hours, so you can handle that a little easier when you're not used to it.
So this is an off-topic question, but what kind of shoes do you wear on those days?
Cushy shoes. I don't know. I buy ones that have a lot of padding and then can down your feet because otherwise your back is kind of killed. And I've worked in hospitals for a long time, so I know long hour shifts on your feet, kind of what you need. But it's that in Arizona, it's hydrating and electrolytes. I mean, all of that stuff you're considering every day. Sweet. And sleep.
So let's talk about the menu. What's your most popular item and what's your personal favorite?
So our flagship is the Stinger. It's a pepperoni pizza that we put in the oven, take out, and then we top with spicy honey on the top of that. And so we've sold thousands of them.
That's
and we
the
go
most
to
popular, I would say, by far.
Yeah, and then we have a second one, and this is Christy's favorite.
My favorite, and it's a newer addition to the menu. It's called the Smoke in the Hive, and it's a barbecue chicken pizza. So barbecue sauce base, chicken, red onions, finished with parsley and the hot honey on that one too. So I always tell people, if you've never had honey on your pizza, you have to try it. You're going to bring it with you to your pizzeria next time if they don't offer it. It just elevates it. It gives it a little different flavor than what people are used to. And I think that combined with cooking it in the wood fire oven, it just gives you a different experience than if you went, to a big chain near you.
And do you get your honey from a specific distributor or the hot honey?
So right now, through Cisco, actually, they make an awesome product, which unfortunately is not available to the public to purchase. There are a couple comparable things you can get at the store, but we've learned kind of trial and error. If we run out and I have to get something from a local store, what do I want? What do I not want? Ideally, eventually down the road, the more we get into this, I'd love to partner with a local
beekeeper.
Yeah, stuff like that. I think in the future, for sure, we want to look into. But yeah,
and let's talk about the crust, because that's sort of everyone's so particular about their pizza. Is it a thin crust? Do you guys make your own, or how?
So they're Neapolitan style pizzas.
Okay.
And so it depends. If we're catering a wedding, we make a 14-inch pizza and we make a buffet. So we'll put 8 to 10 14-inch pizzas on a buffet and we refill from there. And if it's the food truck, we serve 10 to 12-inch personal pizzas in the same style. And so it's this is something that we're having conversations with a lot now, because we have some, colleagues, people that are also trying to have success in the food truck world, and they're not necessarily doing pizza. One of the things that we've had to learn, I think, with the advent of all of the cooking shows and all of the food blogs, and Netflix probably releases a dozen food documentaries, every month. Everybody has this very elevated sense of what your ingredients should be and how you should treat everything, which is great. I think it's really improved the food that we eat all over the place. However, we serve pizzas as fast as we possibly can. And so you have Chris Bianco over off of 7th Street serving some of the greatest pizza in the world. And I agree. We love to eat there. Our pizza is not his pizza. He's one of the best to ever do it. But our pizza is pretty damn good. And so it's just more about doing what's best for the business and how we can handle the volume as efficiently and as cost effectively as possible. And so we use a product by a shop that's produced here in the Valley. They're called Riches. And so we use their dough, not because we don't want to make our own dough, not because we can't make our own dough, but because the time and the labor that it would take to feed 500 people in a day,
the time
is just, we don't have it. We don't have it because we've got, our ovens are going 3 different directions. And so we're just, and we're not ashamed of that. You know, people will come out, they'll talk to me about your dough process. And it's like, well, it's flour, salt, and yeast. And we let it rise.
Get her someone else makes it. Like,
we let it rise, and then we put it in the oven, and you're eating, and you like it, you know.
I will say though, I do think that more important than the crust, because the crust, if you have it proofed to a certain way, the dough is going to behave the same way in the oven no matter what. More important, and the other thing real quickly is it's in that oven less than 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So the pizza, like in the oven, fully cooked, less than 2 minutes. More important to me is the sauce. I think if you get your sauce wrong, you're never going to have a good pizza. So we've taken some real care with how we do that.
No, we do make our own sauce.
And a lot of people are like, this is amazing pizza. And I think rather than it being the crust is so amazing, I think it's really the sauce.
So you're around pizza like your whole work thing. Do you guys ever go out for pizza, like just to check on other whatever?
So we do definitely do, I guess I'd call it sort of reconnaissance and research.
Sure.
We've got good friends in Chicago, and whenever we visit them, we try to find a new pizzeria to check out. There's I mentioned, like Chris Bianco is like a huge inspiration to us. I greatly admire all of the things that he's doing, both in the way that he works with local farms and then just the simplicity of his menu, and the product is, Pizzeria Bianco is like the best I've ever had. And so in a lot of ways, we just try to imitate what he's doing. And then we love Chicago deep dish.
I know. If we're going out for pizza, we'll go to Lou Malnati's. They're fun surprise right now. Our kids joke, they're like, this isn't pizza, this is like pizza casserole, and we love it. I don't care, it's so different and it's so good.
Have you guys been to the Parlor in Arcadia?
No.
It's one of my favorite.
Okay, we'll have to try it. Yeah, we had a top on our list to try.
I knew you were gonna ask me that. I don't think it's been a while since I've been there. I'll send it to you though. It's really good. It's a very cute brick building.
Yeah.
It's a nice place. I like when there because they have like the open kitchen. You can go sit at the bar. Well, just that really cozy feeling.
Yeah.
Of it. So I'm sure you'll like some of those. So you guys have been married quite a long time, and you work together. I grew up on a dairy farm. My parents worked together. So I firsthand saw a couple working together. I saw lots of arguing, but I saw lots of team building and people a couple growing their business together. How have you found working together as a couple?
I think we work together really well. And some of that is the fact that we kind of bring different skill sets to how we operate. And so the business side of Plan B Pizza, the branding, the permitting, the sales, the staffing, we had to figure out how we wanted to do point of sale, how we wanted to do scheduling. All of those kinds of things are things that I do pretty naturally and I enjoy. I have a sales background.
If I did sales, we would be out of business. I would give everything away for free because I like you,
And so I handle that, and Christy really follows my lead in that side of things, including like when I say I think we should do an event and she doesn't think we should do it. We have
do it anyway every time, and it's always amazing. Yeah,
I've heard that in your conversation. Oh, Christy, you're not in charge of that anymore.
But the flip side of that is if Jamin had to go and cater a wedding, he might forget half the ingredients or. Like there's a lot of the planning, like the nitty-gritty of the planning that I do that comes a little more naturally to me. So I think that we complement each other in that. We've also, I mean, more than just as a couple, like this has kind of been a family endeavor. So our girls have all worked for us in some capacity. We have 5 of them. Our oldest daughter actually just graduated Arizona Culinary Institute this last year and is working as a pastry chef. She's incredibly talented.
She works at Silverleaf Country Club as a pastry chef now.
But she's helped us focus on things that we didn't even know we needed, like a social media presence.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't come naturally to either one of us. I hate TikTok. I don't know how to use it, but she does and has helped us in that. So I think that there are different strengths we each kind of bring to it. And there for sure are arguments. We try as best we can to handle that with a lot of grace because, sometimes I'm a lot to deal with and sometimes he's a lot to deal with. So, and as our kids observing that too, I think it's helpful, like to know, okay, mom and dad aren't like always totally on the same page, but this is how they work through that.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it takes deference. Like Christy, when we get to a wedding especially, I defer to her. She is the catering manager, and I basically, I'll fill whichever role she thinks is going to be best for the night. Typically, I fire pizzas when we cater, but we've been having to build a team because we have 3 pizza ovens by the end of next week. And so I have a 3 or 4 other guys who can fire pizzas so that Christy can go and cater a wedding while I'm at, Westworld or at, you fill in the blank. And so, but it's a joy for me to be able to defer to my wife and let her lead when we're catering. It doesn't matter to me. I just want the business to be successful. And she needs me to remind her that it's going to be okay if, one little detail didn't go the way she anticipated it going when we arrived, So we really, I think, complement each other well. We work together. We love to, we're on the doorstep of her being able to do this with me full time as well. And so that's just exciting.
So is that kind of what's on the horizon for Plan B?
TBD, like I think a lot of those type of decisions until you're like right there with it are hard to make.
Sure.
But one of the benefits of doing catering along with food trucking is a lot of the work that I do are nights and weekends. So in some ways it feels sometimes like having 2 full-time jobs. But the catering piece of it to me, like I love doing it. I love showing up. I love like making your wedding or your rehearsal or your birthday party, whatever, beautiful and memorable. One of the things that has been a real encouragement to me is how many reviews we've gotten where the brides or the families are saying people were talking about the food for weeks. Like you don't usually see that with a wedding. And I know a lot of people think, oh, pizza for a wedding, that's kind of weird. But it's memorable and it's delicious. And
it's better than pork medallions.
Yeah, like Jamin said, people are happy. Like it's just that has been very gratifying to me. And that's something that, my career that I've built for 20 years in neurodiagnostics, I don't have to give up in order to enjoy the other. So we're kind of living in that beautiful tension right now.
Yeah.
So I know everyone, including me, is like, well, now I want to taste this pizza. So where can they find you?
Well, tonight or this evening, so we're in the Surprise area, and there is a coffee shop in Surprise called Spencer's Place. They actually have 2 locations. And Karen York and her husband had started that business several years ago with a ministry mind. And so they have a nonprofit organization called Employed and Overjoyed, which helps adults with special needs obtain employment and get some job training. And so if you visit there, there's a lot of people working, and that's why, because they're helping these folks to be able to have a job and learn skills, and it's a really, really cool experience. And so we wanted to partner with Karen, and so today we're going to be set up right outside of her location at Cotton and Greenway here in Surprise, and we're going to give proceeds of what we sell today to that organization, Employed and Overjoyed. So that'll be today from 3 until 6:30 p.m. And then beyond that,
come see us at spring training.
Yeah, spring training.
That's like going to be where we're living for the next month, starting February 20th, 21st. We'll be in Goodyear Ballpark. All 30 games will be at Hohokam and Mesa for all of the games there as well. And then we post on our Instagram a lot, at Plan B Pizza, B like a honey bee, where we're going to be set up. We try to give a couple days heads up of that. Just folks, it's kind of cool. Folks follow us around. They're like coming out to see us because they had us at different places and getting to know some people that way. It's super fun.
And just for everyone watching or listening, we will post our social handles too on the edit so that you can have that first so people can start following you. I can't wait to try your pizza.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on today. And finally, one last question. You know I'm Canadian, so pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Like personally or professionally? I don't know. I mean,
it's not on our menu, but we'll make it. You know, if a bride, we did a pizza in Jerome, we did where the bride asked for a pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple pizza.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Funny,
and I think she was from Canada,
was Canadian,
so that was the thing. I don't know.
Was the thing.
I'm telling you, it's so good.
We'll do it. Well, and it's never bad. But
well, you are in the land. Like, surprise, there's a lot of Canadians there.
Oh yeah, some of our best friends are Canadian.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
On that note, we want to just say what's happening in the real estate market. We had a slow quarter last year, and everyone was, putting the brakes on for the interest rates. And I went to San Diego for a convention, and the guy who runs this, Tom Ferry, he said, "You guys sleep, rest, because when you get back home, the switch is going to turn and it's going to be busy." And he was exactly right. It's just overnight. The market's changed. So if you're looking at selling your house, it's a great time to do that. And if you're a buyer, you better jump in now, because if the interest rates keep going down, then we're going to be back to like competing offers and all those kinds of things. I do have a cute little house coming up in Litchfield Park, possibly too. And I have an adorable place in a 55 plus community in Apache Junction. And I'll be there on Saturday from 11 till 2. Lots of snowbirds there. And I am also going to be listing a long-term rental here in Scottsdale. So if you have any interest in that, please reach out to me. You guys, thanks so much. Good luck with everything. I can guarantee you're going to see me, and I'll be looking for that Canadian.
Thanks, Loretta.
Okay, have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.